While many of our famous friends live in LA, plenty of them have migrated from other countries and own properties back home too. With that in mind, today we're turning our eye towards the celebs across the pond in the great country of the United Kingdom. The UK consists of 4 separate countries: England, Northern Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. Taken together, the United Kingdom is an excellent place to live, and everyone should experience it at least once in their life if possible, or so I heard. Not only does the country provide mostly free healthcare, but you might be surprised to learn that compared to some other places like the US, the cost of living is really quite reasonable. Even the weather is generally pretty mild all year long, but you do undoubtedly have to put up with a whole lot of rain. Like, a lot of rain. Beyond that, there's the amazing landscape that's perfect to explore, and the amazing history too. Nearly every city has a landmark worth checking out. With a population just over 67 million, it shouldn't come as any surprise to find out that the UK has some of the nicest homes you've ever laid eyes on, and today we'll check out some of them. In these videos, we don't reveal any addresses, and even though I've done a house tour of my own place, please do not show up at any private residences because it's not safe for anyone. How's it going, guys and gals? It's Kara here for you with a brand new top 10 on famous entertainment. Today we're taking a look at 10 celebrities who live in the United Kingdom. From world famous authors to pop stars and some pretty unbelievable personalities, the United Kingdom has never been low on talent. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram to chat. All right, let's get into this list.
When I come home and if I walk and don't see anyone around, I can feel like I'm at 6 again.
We're gonna start our list at number 10 with one of the UK's most recognizable recent exports, Harry Styles. When he's not visiting his parents' place, Harry actually owns not 1, not 2, but 3 properties in Hampstead, and reports suggest that he's looking to combine 2 of his North London homes into one gigantic mansion. The first he picked up in London was back in 2012 when he was only 18 years old, which he spent £3 million on. He got the second unit in 2019 for £8 million, and his most recent addition came early last year when he dropped £4.1 million on an 18th century villa. Reports suggest that his second property is a 5-bedroom mansion, which sits directly next to his most recent purchase. If the internet is to be believed, Harry is looking to combine these 2 properties into one giant 10-bedroom crib. If he carries through with these designs, it might cost him a further £30 million in construction expenses.
That relationship, the entire record's about, that is really summed up in Someone Like You, has changed me in a really good way.
From one wildly popular singer to another, number 9 on our list is Adele, whose unbelievable come-up saw her rise from living in a modest flat in London to owning multiple residences all over the world. These include a couple homes in her native land, like this East Grinstead Manor that's practically bursting with personality. This home dates back to the 16th century and features original beams, brickwork, and exposed timber that shows off the traditional period finishing, not to mention several open and original fireplaces. After getting divorced in late 2019, Adele put this home on the market, selling it for around £3 million. She now spends most of her time at her house in the exclusive Kensington area of London, where she bought 2 properties right next to one another for around £5 million each. It's been reported that she intended to combine these 2 properties together, which, considering what I just told you about Harry, must make that a very British thing to do.
I have a cottage that a little girl lives in the attic.
But a little ghost girl?
Yeah, a little ghost. I have three people that have stayed there that don't believe in ghosts, and they've all seen it.
Does the UK produce anything other than musicians? I know they do, but next up on our list is another fantastic one, Ed Sheeran. And just wait till you hear about his place. Rather than move into one gigantic home, Ed has taken a different route and decided to expand his village home, and well, just never stop. Since buying his first farmhouse over 8 years ago, this star's massive complex has its foundation in 4 primary buildings, 2 farmhouses worth a combined £1.3 million, as well as £1 million 4-bedroom house and a £525,000 bungalow, all of which are located a stone's throw away from one another. Ed has essentially created his own mini village. Nearby, there's a 4-car garage, a billiards room, his own gym and pool, wildlife pond, and the most important aspect of all, his very own pub. But the less we talk about that ghost in the attic, the better. You guys ready for one more singer? Why not, right? Let's check out Robbie Williams next.
We're 10 years married this year, 14 years together, and I am in the entertainment industry, so I deserve some sort of award.
This talented musician owns a place in the area known as Millionaires Row, a £17.5 million home locally known as Woodland House, which he shares with his loving wife and kids. This large detached house was first built in 1875 by the architect Richard Norman Shaw and was owned by film director Michael Winner ever since his family first leased the property directly following the Second World War. In 2013, Robbie purchased the 47-room home. Amenities were said to include a jacuzzi, swimming pool, steam room, and its own movie theater, or as they like to call them in the UK, a cinema.
Everything I read about you is she prizes her privacy.
I like to have a life, and I think it's important for me with my family.
Next up, this time it's not a musician, it's supermodel and fashion designer Kate Moss. Kate owns a home in London that reflects the details she put into her craft, and the place contains a whole bunch of custom wallpaper that makes her home pop. And it better, considering speculation is she spent $1,500 per 3 inches of fabric. The mixture of vintage and modern styles is to be expected in a home of someone with as fine an eye as she has, and even the master bath has details like a clawfoot tub set beneath a crystal chandelier. Who wouldn't want to relax in that? Out back, her garden has tall hedges and perfectly mowed grass. There's even a separate house located within the gardens that acts as a cottage with a cute green front door.
They were black and white, they were mostly fashion photographs, but I was interested immediately. I bought about 12 photographs on the spot.
Halfway through our list, and we have the Rocket Man himself, Elton John. No stranger to opulence, Elton John is one of the most popular singers of all time, who also just happens to be one of the 10 wealthiest individuals in the British music industry. Elton owns residences all over the world, but one of his prized possessions is his home known as Queensdale Place. Looks more than a little modest, right? Well, we can only guess as to how lavish it is on the inside, but Elton has held on to this place since 1982, so it must mean something special to him. Beyond that, Elton also owns a much more gigantic estate located in Old Windsor. This home features classic English interiors, romantic gardens, many spare bedrooms, and 13 dogs. Honestly, 13 dogs sounds perfect.
J.K. Rowling is the first self-made billionaire author in history, selling more than 400 million books.
This next celeb who lives in the UK is a famous author, none other than J.K. Rowling, the woman behind Harry Potter. By this point, we all know her story of rags to riches on her journey to becoming the highest paid author in the entire world. Over the years, J.K. has owned a handful of homes in her native land, including a gorgeous estate in Edinburgh. This 19th century Victorian mansion with 8 bedrooms also features a full kitchen, shower room, summer house, and double car garage, and is the very place where J.K. wrote the majority of her Harry Potter series. After buying the home for just over £2 million, over the years she would develop it more, including the construction of a £240,000 Hogwarts-inspired treehouse for her kids. This also required knocking down a nearly £1 million home that was previously next to hers. While JK sold this home in 2012, she moved into her current estate, which is also the place she married her husband in 2001.
We support each other, and you know, we're very lucky to have found each other, and lucky that we're growing together.
Now for one of my favorite couples, the Beckhams. Whether you're a fan of classic football or the Spice Girls, almost every person on the planet knows who David and Victoria Beckham are. They own 2 gorgeous estates in the UK. They own a £27 million Abbotswood estate in the Cotswolds, which consists of 774 acres of land and acts as their getaway property. But what may be their nicest home is this Holland Park mansion, which is worth approximately £31 million and underwent an £8 million renovation in 2016. These days, the home boasts its own gym, wine cellar, and even separate living quarters for their oldest son, Brooklyn, so that he can have as much privacy as possible.
We did some tests, and then a month later he said, "You have the worst diet I've ever met from any patient."
Practically next door neighbors to the Beckhams, number 2 on our list is Simon Cowell. Simon's undergone a bit of a physical makeover lately, and when he's spending his time back home in his native country, he lives in a £15 million 5-bedroom mansion on Millionaires Row. A series of unfortunate events would occur in Simon's home, including a break-in attempt while his family was asleep upstairs, and his own episode of fainting and falling down the stairs a few years later. Since then, Simon has decided to move to a brand new house in nearby Wimbledon. Simon Simon also spent £15 million on this purchase, and he's installing more amenities like a 15-meter pool with its own pool house and bar, a state-of-the-art security system, and heated floors.
Once you put it on, it stays. And you can't look down to read the speech. You have to take the speech up. Because if you did, your neck would break, it would fall off.
Number 1 on our list definitely has to go to royalty because it is the UK after all. How could we talk about the nicest celeb homes here and skip Queen Elizabeth and her home base of Buckingham Palace? I mean, it's worth nearly £5 billion. The Queen's main residence, Buckingham Palace, has acted as the administrative headquarters for the nation's leaders ever since 1837, and it's actually 15 times bigger than the White House. It spans a massive 829,000 square feet and features 775 rooms, including 92 offices, 78 bathrooms, and over 230 bedrooms. These days, Buckingham Palace is very much a working building, which makes it a unique entry in this list as it's both a private and public space. In fact, more than 50,000 people visit each year, or at least they did before, well, you know. I don't know about you guys, but when this pandemic finally blows over, one of the first places I want to visit is right here. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap up our list of the top 10 celebrities that live in the UK. What did you think? I know there are way more, but let me know in the comments who I missed so we can make a part 2. Thanks for watching. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!